As you look at your to-do list, you see more tasks and projects than you can possibly complete. So you decide you're going to hand some stuff off to your team, but you're nervous about letting go. In this video, I want to share 5 steps to make your delegation more effective and reduce your stress. Anyone who's ever delegated a task or a project has probably been frustrated or disappointed by it. We've passed off something important, and we either received a result that looked nothing like what we were expecting, or they completely dropped the ball. Is there anything we can do to change this? Or is delegation just a roll of the dice? I've learned that there are some things that you can do in the delegation process that will ensure more consistent results. So here are 5 steps you can take to improve your delegation. First, decide what you will delegate. Now, this seems obvious, but it is a point of struggle for many managers. The list of tasks and projects is so long and intimidating, it's hard to know where to start. Here's a rule of thumb. As you look for items to delegate, start with the low-leverage tasks and projects on your list. What are the things that do not require your knowledge or experience? What are the items that don't have a high return for your time and effort? Does it make sense for you to fill out that report or restock those shelves or do that research when there are others on your team who can do those things instead? Now, that doesn't mean that you're too good to do that work, but as a manager, your focus has to be on the highest leverage tasks. Once you decide what task or project you will delegate, it's time to select the appropriate person. This step is crucial. Because you match the task with the wrong person, it's going to be frustrating for everyone. But if you choose the right person, you not only increase your bandwidth, but you also build their confidence and help them develop new skills. As you look at your team, the goal is to match the task with the best possible person. To find that match, consider their skills and their experience. One mistake that is easy to make here is to go to the reliable people on our team. The problem with that is they can easily get overloaded and burned out. Additionally, if you keep going to them, you're failing to provide others on the team the opportunity to contribute and develop. So don't rule them out if they've never done it before, but consider their potential to do the task. This might be something that with a little bit of coaching, they would do well. Well, the final consideration, as we've alluded to, is their workload. So you've identified the task. You've selected the person. The next step is to clarify your expectations. Now, I know we immediately run to the handoff conversation when we get to this point, but let's take a step back. Clarity does not begin in the handoff conversation. It begins in your mind. Most of my failures in delegating were because I was not clear about what I was looking for. Here's an important truth about delegation. If you are not clear in your own mind, they will never be successful. So what do I want? What are the specific outcomes I'm looking for? What does a win look like? Are they just researching? What should the research look like? Is this a one-time task, or are you looking for them to take it over? Do you want them to make a recommendation, or are you expecting them to make a decision? Your expectations about what you want them to do and how success will be measured must be clear and specific. And a bonus tip here, writing them down will help you get clear. Once you're clear, communicate to the team member. Be sure to use specific language and make sure they understand exactly what you mean. If you want a rundown, make sure they know what a rundown looks like. It's always good to have them repeat back what they think the assignment is, so you can clear up any misunderstandings from the start. Before they go off to start working, be sure to schedule a time to touch base. Once we assign the task or project, there are 2 extremes that we can drift toward, and neither is good. One is that we ghost them until the due date. When we do that, more often than not, we're going to be frustrated with the end result. The other is that we micromanage the project all the way through, which has its own list of problems. Well, in order to avoid these extremes, it's helpful to set up touch points along the way, times where you can check in on their progress, answer any questions, and get the project back on track if it's not what you're looking for. Finally, when all is said and done, take time to provide feedback. An after-project debrief is a necessity if you want to turn this into a development opportunity. This is a great time to provide positive reinforcement. Take time to celebrate their wins. Praise them for the things they did well. Even if the project was a mess, there's likely something good you can talk about. Well, this is also a time for coaching and improvement. Are there things they could have done differently? Could they have started sooner? Did they give you what you were looking for? Now, there's a couple cautions here. First, be careful not to nitpick. Nothing is more demoralizing than your boss pointing out every little thing that they would have done differently, especially when those things would not have substantially changed the end result. Second, when giving improvement feedback, focus on the task, not the person. You don't want your feedback to sound like a personal attack. One way to avoid this is to ask them to evaluate the project. What do you think went well? Is there anything that didn't go well? Is there anything you would have done differently? Teaching them to review and evaluate their own work will go a long way in their development. Delegation, when done well, can not only increase the productivity of you and your team, it can also build trust and increase the confidence of your team. By matching the right person with the right task, being clear about our expectations, touching base throughout the process, and giving productive feedback, we can learn to be more effective in our delegation. And that will empower our team to reach their full potential. Thank you for partnering with us as you find your lead. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more leadership content.